Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once more to Lore of League of Legends. For this episode, we're going to be heading back to the island city-state of Ionia for a look at the man who has been forced to turn away from his nation in order to prove his innocence. I present to you the lore of Yasuo, the Unforgiven. Enjoy. Ionia is an island city-state located off the eastern coast of the Valoran mainland. It is a naturally beautiful place due to its ancient trees, high mountains, lively forests and calm rivers. The view is marked by numerous gardens and temples, buildings ornately decorated, built in a way that prevents them from destroying any natural environments. The state itself is a haven for philosophers, monks and anyone seeking enlightenment. The island is also home to Valoran's greatest diplomats, famous all across the continent. Its peaceful population consists mainly of humans and Yordles. The island is home to many spiritual schools and temples, working in harmony and helping each other in search for philosophical questions about the meaning of life. Ionians dedicate their lives to find the answers to those questions and find the source of inner peace, while many reach to different sources, whether it's looking for primal vitality or the excitement that comes from darkness. All Ionians agree that violence is distasteful. That, however, doesn't mean that they can't defend themselves. Ionians have martial arts that is considered the pure manifestation of their ultimate goal: enlightenment. There is one such school specializing in sword techniques that heralds from this land. And in this school there was once a pupil that was considered brilliant by his peers and his masters, Yasuo. He was the only student in a generation to master the legendary wind technique. His skill forced many to believe that he was destined to become a great hero. However, his fate was to change forever when the Noxian invasion of Ionia began. Yasuo was left during the fray in order to stay behind to guard an important Ionian elder. His mind, however, was focused more towards the conflict in hand and did not feel that someone of his skill should be simply left guarding an elder. He abandoned his duty, foolishly believing that his blade alone could make the difference in the conflict with the Noxians. But by the time he'd returned to his duty, the elder he'd been charged with guarding had been slain. He had failed in the duty conscribed to him. Disgraced, Yasuo willingly turned himself in, prepared to pay for his failure with his life. Disgrace turned to shock, however, when he found that he himself had not only failed his duty, but also been accused of the murder itself. Confused and racked with guilt, Yasuo knew that if he were to die here, the assassin would go unpunished for their crime. His new duty lay before him, and Yasuo raised his sword against the school, his family, and fought his way free. He knew that this treason would turn all of Ionia against him, and now for the first time in his life, he felt truly alone, and set out to find the Elder's real killer. Over the next several years, Yasuo wandered the land seeking any clue that might lead him to the true murderer. All the while, he was relentlessly hunted down by his former allies, continually forced to fight or die. But his purpose was clear and his mission drove him ever forward, until one day he was tracked down by the one foe he dreaded facing the most, his brother, Yone. Bound by a common code of honor, the two warriors bowed in respect to each other and drew their swords, and silently, they circled one another under the moonlight. Finally, they both charged forward towards each other. Yone proved to be no match for his younger brother, and with a single flash of steel, Yasuo cut his brother down. He dropped his sword and rushed to his dying brother's side. Overcome with guilt and emotion, Yasuo demanded to know why his own brother could find him guilty of his accused crimes. Yone spoke out to him, saying that the elder had been killed by a wind technique. Who else could it have been? And finally, it all became clear in Yasuo's mind, and he understood then why he'd been accused. He professed his innocence once more and begged his brother's forgiveness as he passed away in his arms. Yasuo buried his brother under the rising sun, but could take no time to mourn. It wouldn't be long before others would be after him, but in spite of all this, his brother's words had given him newfound purpose. He now had the clue he needed to find the true killer. And swearing an oath, he gathered his belongings and with one last look at his brother's grave, set out to find the assassin with the wind at his back. And that's all I've got for you this time around. Let me know what you thought of the video by hitting that like button and leaving your feedback in the comments section below the video. Don't forget you can check out all the other champions that have been done thus far by hitting the annotation at the top of the screen that will take you to the playlist. Thanks for watching everyone, and as always, I'll see you next time.